Hey Commanders Nation! Before we dive into today's massive update, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop your thoughts below. Because we're talking trade tension, locker room drama, and some cryptic words from Coach Dan Quinn about how the Commanders plan to weaponize Deebo Samuel in a way that has fans and opponents guessing. Two stories. One message: the Commanders are building something dangerous. Let's get into it. So here's what we know. The Cincinnati Bengals granted veteran pass rusher Trey Hendrickson permission to seek a trade this offseason. And ever since, Washington has quietly been circling as a potential destination. But now, it's no longer quiet. Things have officially gotten messy in Cincy. Hendrickson is no longer just unhappy with his contract. He's publicly frustrated, calling out his head coach, Zach Taylor, over lack of communication. According to reports from The Athletic, Taylor threatened to fine Hendrickson if he doesn't show up for mandatory minicamp in June, despite there being no progress on a new deal. Hendrickson put it bluntly when asked if he'd play under his current $21 million expiring contract. No. And that's all he said. No elaboration. No PR spin. Just no. He went on to say that it's become personal between him and the Bengals. That right there is the kind of statement that sends shockwaves through the league, especially to teams like Washington, who are still very much in the hunt for a top-tier edge rusher. Let's be real, the Commanders have made surgical moves this offseason. GM Adam Peters has been careful not to throw huge money around, even while adding major pieces like Bobby Wagner, Laramie Tunsil, and Deebo Samuel. But one thing this defense still lacks? That dominant edge rusher who can wreck a game, the kind of guy who can pick up 12+ sacks and command double teams. And that's exactly what Trey Hendrickson is. He's coming off 3 straight Pro Bowl seasons. Since 2020, only TJ Watt and Myles Garrett have more sacks. The man is a one-man disruption machine. And right now, his situation in Cincinnati is imploding in real time. This is where Adam Peters faces a defining decision. Will he stick to his financial blueprint and avoid players demanding big money, or will he recognize that Hendrickson's frustration in Cincinnati could actually drive down the trade cost and get the Commanders a legitimate edge terror without paying a first-round premium? This could be the moment where Peters decides to go all in, again. So how would Hendrickson even fit into this revamped Commanders defense? Let's look at the scheme. With Dan Quinn now running the show, we know the Commanders will feature more aggressive fronts, stunts, and blitzes from everywhere. But Quinn's defenses always rely on having one true edge alpha, like he had in Dallas with Micah Parsons, or in Atlanta with Vic Beasley during their Super Bowl run. Right now, Washington's edge room is a mix of rotational guys: Dorrance Armstrong Jr., Cleland Farrell, Ife Obada returning from injury, and maybe KJ Henry developing into something. But they don't have that guy who keeps offensive coordinators up at night. Hendrickson would be that guy instantly. And here's a bonus. His personality is all about relentless motor and film study. Exactly the culture Dan Quinn is trying to build. Of course, it's not all sunshine. Hendrickson wants a new deal. And that's where things get complicated. The Commanders do have cap space, but Peters has been extremely disciplined about handing out long-term deals. Still, if the trade cost is low, say a third-round pick, Peters could justify bringing in Hendrickson with the intention of negotiating a new deal after 2025, especially if Washington's defense gets them into playoff contention again, because here's the truth. You don't make moves like trading for Laramie Tunsil and Deebo Samuel if you're not thinking Super Bowl window. Speaking of Deebo, let's pivot to the offensive side because we got one heck of a quote from Dan Quinn this week on The Rich Eisen Show. When asked how the Commanders plan to use Deebo in their offense, Quinn gave a cryptic but exciting response. I would say similar, but I wouldn't say the same. That's coach speak for, we're cooking something different. He went on to explain that Cliff Kingsbury and Brian Johnson have been staying up late figuring out unique ways to get the ball in Deebo's hands. That tells us two things. They see Deebo as more than a plug-and-play WR2. They're designing packages, not just plays, to take full advantage of his versatility. Remember, this was already the 4 rushing attack in the NFL last season. Now you add Deebo Samuel. One of the league's most dangerous players in space? This offense is going to be nightmarish to prepare for. We're talking jet sweeps, misdirections, quick throws, end-arounds, WR screens, even wildcat looks. And all of it designed to keep Jaden Daniels in rhythm and defenses guessing. We're seeing something special forming. A modern NFL offense, built around positionless football. And Deebo is the perfect chess piece between the Hendrickson situation boiling over and the Commanders unlocking a secret Deebo playbook. It's clear this team is in win-now mode. Adam Peters isn't just stacking talent. He's building a culture of accountability and creativity. And the best part? This roster still has youth, cap flexibility, and a franchise QB on a rookie deal. That's the sweet spot in today's NFL. And if they can land Hendrickson, even on a short-term restructure, it could be the final piece in a championship puzzle. The NFL schedule reveal is practically a national holiday for football fans, but for head coaches, it's serious business. And for Dan Quinn, it all starts with one key question. Yeah, probably the first-week opponent first. Are you in the division? Out of the division? That's what Quinn told Rich Eisen during a recent appearance on The Rich Eisen Show. The Commanders' new head coach knows every season is a marathon, but how you start that marathon can define your whole rhythm. Let's not forget, Quinn is a defensive-minded coach who's all about preparation. He emphasized that once the draft is done, coaches begin looking across the league to see who added what and how that impacts the early part of the schedule. Then the opener. Then what does the next few weeks look like until you get to the bye? That early season window is what Quinn focuses on. He's not just flipping through dates. He's mapping out how to get this team rolling right out the gate, especially coming off a deep playoff run. And here's what makes it interesting. For us fans, he's already thinking matchups, momentum, and managing the locker room tempo. It's not about marquee games. It's about building that foundation for January football. Speaking of January football, let's talk about a late season game that could decide the division. It's already been confirmed. Week 16, Fox doubleheader, the Washington Commanders are hosting the reigning Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles in what could be an NFC East title bout. Circle it, highlight it, tattoo it. This is must-watch football. The Eagles may be holding the crown, but the Commanders are coming. With Jaden Daniels entering year 2, Deebo Samuel now in the mix, and Terry McLaurin still doing Terry things, this offense has the firepower to make Philly sweat. And don't think Dan Quinn doesn't know it. This is a game that's not just about playoff positioning. It's about measuring sticks. Can the Commanders stand toe-to-toe with the NFC's best and punch back? Week 16 is the type of game that defines reputations. Expect national media buzz, potential playoff previews, and a sea of burgundy and gold ready to rock FedEx Field. As if that wasn't enough, Washington's taking its talents to Madrid. Yeah, you heard that right. Week 11, the Commanders will face off against the Miami Dolphins at the world-famous Bernabeu Stadium, home of Real Madrid. It'll be the first NFL game ever played in Spain, and Washington is center stage. According to Pro Football Network's Kyle Soppe, this clash is the second-best international game on the entire 2025 slate, only behind Chiefs-Chargers in Brazil. Why? Because it's got everything. On one side, you've got Jaden Daniels, the reigning offensive rookie of the year, leading a dynamic Commanders offense. On the other, Tua Tagovailoa, and a Dolphins unit loaded with speed and explosiveness. Now, throw Deebo Samuel into that equation, used in unique ways, as Quinn cryptically hinted. And this has playoff implications written all over it. Let's also not overlook the fact that this is a 9:30 a.m. ET kickoff. That means the whole country will be waking up with Commanders versus Dolphins, And that spotlight is a huge branding opportunity for a team trying to establish a new era under Adam Peters and Dan Quinn. This isn't just a game. It's a statement to the league that the Commanders are a global product and a real contender. So, what does this all mean for the bigger picture? Let's zoom out. Washington is coming off a 12-5 season, an NFC Championship appearance, and has one of the NFL's most promising young quarterbacks. When the full schedule drops, don't be surprised if the Commanders rack up multiple primetime slots. We're talking Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, and yes, even more Thursday night showcases. The league knows a good storyline when it sees one. And with the Commanders, there's plenty of drama, talent, and upside to market. Adam Peters spent the offseason doubling down on weapons. Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury are building a versatile, explosive attack. And Jaden Daniels is turning into a face-of-the-league type quarterback right before our eyes. This isn't the same old Washington. This is a team with identity, leadership, and legitimate expectations. And you better believe Dan Quinn's already dissecting how to start strong, peak in December, and dominate in January. So, Commanders fans, we want to hear from you. Should Washington go all in for Trey Hendrickson? Are you concerned about the money? Or do you trust Adam Peters to find value? And how do you want to see Deebo Samuel used in this new-look Commanders offense? Drop your takes in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a Commanders HQ update. This has been your Insider Breakdown, and we'll be back with more fire as the 2025 season takes shape. Hail to the Commanders! Hail to thee!